What's up, SE Nation? So how do you make the most out of a global sales meeting or internal sales meeting, the sales kickoff meeting, whatever you want to call it? How do you make the most out of that? I've been to several internal sales meetings with a couple of different companies. For those of you who've never been, this is kind of an internal meeting where all salespeople, SEs, product managers, and some of the C-level folks come together. And the purpose of the meeting is to highlight the accomplishments, rally the troops, and provide some form of training. The ones I've attended seem less like training, but more like glorified roadmap overviews or a lot of marketing slides. Now, this might be different between the different companies, but the training, as I mentioned, were less technical training and more about we're creating this new product. It's gonna be great. We're having this feature. It's gonna solve everybody's problems. Or we won this deal because we are breathtaking, as Keanu Reeves would say. So after the first global sales meeting that I attended, I noticed that I am not getting a lot of information out of the actual sessions, but the information that I was receiving in between the sessions by talking to other SEs, by talking to product managers one-on-one, was just invaluable. So I figured not everything is given to us on a silver platter or a gold platter or any kind of platter. We kind of have to work for it like everything else in life. So what is it that we have to do to make sure that we're not wasting our time, we're wasting our family's time, and also we're wasting our company's dime? And yes, I worked hard on that rhyme. Here's a few ideas that I've been doing for the last few years. Before I even go down to the sales meeting, and when I say down, it's because I live in Canada and I haven't been in any global sales meetings in Canada. It's always almost always in the US. And before we go down there, what I like to do is try to think about my customer and where they're going. What are the features that would be interesting for them? What are the products that they might need that would complement what they have today and make their lives easier? For example, is there a new routing protocol that they want to test, or a new speed that they want to test in their routers? That's for my specific customers. You would know your customers better. So I think about that, and I make a mental note of all the different topics that I want to discuss or I want to dig deep into while I'm in that 5-day sessions. The second thing I like to do is write the names of 5 people I'd like to meet down there that could help me with the topics I already mentioned earlier. And these could be SEs, PMs, and it could be to gather information or to collaborate with them in providing that information for my customers as well. Also, before I go down, if I know there aren't any technical trainings down there, I'd like to reach out to some people to get a meetup together, meet a few SEs, make sure that we all get together, we all learn from each other. While I'm down there and I am attending the sessions, if you've ever attended one of these sessions, they're boring. They're not fun. There's nothing to entice you. I don't know why that is. And I mentioned in a previous video, which I will link up here or whichever side, it is the presenter's responsibility to hold the audience attention. But if the presenter is not doing that, then I have to do something about it, again, to make the most out of my time there. So these are a few tricks that I do while I'm in a specific session. I always stand up. I try not to sit down, so I'm always in the back. I take as much notes as possible. I know it's awkward while standing up, but I still try to do it. I never have my laptop open, and I try to ask as many questions as possible. I find if I go 5 minutes without asking a question, I dozed off somewhere. I'm not listening anymore, and it makes me feel bad for the presenter because I'm asking a lot of questions. If there are technical sessions, make sure you attend those. At the end of the day, I like to take 15 minutes to review what happened during the day. What are the things that could help my customers? Basically review my notes and make a plan for when I get back home. The last thing I like to do is make sure I get enough sleep. During these meetings, there's a lot of, what's the word for it? Temptations to stay up late, to party, to drink, if you're in Vegas, to gamble, whatever it is. But sleep and recovery is very important. And if you don't believe me, listen to my interview with Brian Paul Buckley. I'll link it up here. It's just very important for us to actually stay awake during these sessions that take a lot of focus and concentration to remain awake. If your priority is to party, then by all means go nuts. I'd love to hear what you guys do to prepare for such meetings and to make the most out of meetings. So leave a comment below and like, share, subscribe if you find this interesting or useful to anybody. And I will see you guys tomorrow.